welcome to the class of social science for class 4, chapter number 6, the coastal plains and islands. I repeat, the coastal plains and islands. Now, the contents of this chapter, we will discuss about coastal plains. Coastal plains, which are divided into two parts, eastern coastal plains and the western coastal plains. So, eastern coastal plain we will discuss, and we will also discuss about the western coastal plain. Next is the islands. Islands, in this we will discuss about some islands, especially of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, Lakshadweep Islands. Okay, other minor islands are also there, but Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands are very important. So we will discuss about two islands, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep Islands. Now let us discuss about what is coastal plain. A coastal plain is an area of flat, low-lying land adjoining near to the sea. Okay, the sea is here and the land is here. They are adjoining to each other means they are joining to each other. This is called coastal plain. Some of the large coastal plains are in Alaska and the southern East United States. Okay, now what is coastal plain? Again we will know this. A coastal plain is an area of flat, low-lying land adjoining or near to the sea. This is called coastal plain. Some of the largest coastal plains are in Alaska and the southern United States Now, are you able to see this map? In this map, there is a black line which is coming at the south of the. Over here, there are several coastal lines. These are all coming with the coastal line. Why? Because the land is adjoining to the sea or ocean. See, Run of Kutch, okay, the Kathiawar, Diu, Daman, Konkan coast, okay, coastline of submerged, coastline of emerged is called Malabar coast. Now there is the Vembakan Lake, Coromandel coast, okay, Carnatic plains, Pulicat Lake, Andhra coast, Utkal coast, the several coasts over there in India. So what you have to do is you have to take a physical map of India and you have to just mark all the coastal plains of India and paste that in your notebook with proper naming it. Okay, the name should be proper and adequate. These are actually all that black line which has been shown to you. These are the plains which are the coastal plains, especially which are adjoining to the sea or ocean. Now, the coastal plains of India lie on either side of the peninsular plateau along the western and the eastern coasts of India. They extend for about 6,150 kilometers from the Run of Kutch in the west to the West Bengal in the east. They are broadly divided into two plains, that are the western coastal plain and the eastern coastal plain. Western coastal plains lies in the west side. Okay, west side means nearby the Arabian Sea, and the eastern coastal plain lie in the east side of India, which is that's said to be nearby the Bay of Bengal. The two coastal plains at Kanyakumari the southernmost tip of Indian mainland. Okay, these two coasts are coming together and they used to join at the southernmost tip, and there is a place named Kanyakumari where both the coasts, both the plains used to meet each other, the eastern and the western, and that is said to be the southernmost tip. It means the last final tip of India where the southern ends and where the map of India ends, that is said to be the Kanyakumari. Okay, now see, the coastal plains of India lie in the either side of the peninsular plateau. It means western coast and eastern coastal land plains are here. In between that, we are having the peninsular plateau. So on both the sides of the peninsular plateau, we are having the coastal plains. The coastal plains are starting from the run of Kutch to the Bay of Bengal. You remember in the previous slide I showed you one map, and over there I showed you the black line which is starting from the run of Kutch till the next one, that is said to be the Utkal coast. You remember that? And then that black line is around 6,150 kilometer. Okay, now here we are having both the things, that is the eastern plain and the coastal plain. Okay, the eastern and the western coastal plains are lying in both the sides. Western coastal plain lies to the Arabian Sea side, and the eastern coastal plain lies nearby the Bay of Bengal. And these two coastal plains meet at one place that is said to be Kanyakumari. Kanyakumari, which is said to be the southernmost tip of Indian mainland. So now let's discuss about the western coastal plain. They extend from Gujarat in the north to the south in Kerala. It is a narrow plain whose width varies from 50 to 80 kilometers. The western coastal plains are smaller than the eastern coastal plain, and the region is divided into 4 parts: Gujarat coastal plain, Konkan coastal plain, Kannada coastal plain, Malabar coastal plains. Okay, so what the details we discussed about western coastal plain? They extend from Gujarat in the north to the south in Kerala. It is a narrow plain. Okay, varies from 50 to 80 kilometers. It is smaller than eastern coastal plain, and it is divided into how many parts? 4 parts: Gujarat coastal plain, Konkan coastal plain, Kannada coastal plains, and Malabar coastal plain. So the Western Ghat lies in the east part of India. The western part of India. Okay, so the western coastal plain lies in the western coastal part of India. It means the western part of India. These coastal plains are narrow, 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 rocky and rugged in nature. Rugged means very harsh, tough. Okay, the Gujarat coast is broadest between the Gulf of Kutch and the Gulf of Kambad in Gujarat. The Konkan coast south of the Gujarat coast has a coastline which is narrow, rocky, uneven and indented, and thus it is deal of establishing harbors and ports. You know what do you mean by harbors and ports? Where the huge ships can go from one country to another, and they can help out in the work of business. Kandala in Gujarat, Jawaharlal Nehru Port or Nhava Sheva in Mumbai, Margao in Marmagoy in Gujarat and Kochi in Kerala are some important ports of Western Ghats. So these are the names of the ports. Have you seen in Bombay? So many pictures are there where you have to see huge ships are there that they used to carry load from one place to another. It means from one country to another. These are called the harbors and the ports. Okay. So the coastal line are usually narrow, rocky and rugged in nature. The Gujarat coast, it's the broadest between the Gulf of Kutch and the Gulf of Kambar. Okay, the Konkan coast, sorry, the Konkan coast south of the Gujarat coast has a coastline which is narrow, rocky and uneven. Okay, and whatever the surface it is having, it is very perfect for establishing harbors and the ports. So Kandala in Gujarat, Jawaharlal Nehru Port, or the Nhava Sheva in Mumbai, okay, Marmagoy in Goa and Kochi in Kerala, they are the some important ports of Western Ghats in India. Now let us discuss about the climate and the vegetation of the western coastal plain. These western coastal plains experience a hot and humid climate. Humid means where we used to have so much of the wet, okay, something which is not cold and something which is not hot, okay, and throughout the year, and receive a heavy downpour from summer monsoon. Rice, coconut, cashew nut, tobacco and groundnut are cultivated here because of moisture rich condition, okay, because the moisture present in this region are very rich, and due to this moisture, rice, coconut, cashew nut, tobacco and groundnut, they are cultivated in a huge quantity. Apart from farming, fishing is a major occupation of people living here. There in the western coastal plain, farming is an occupation, the people do the farming, but apart from farming, they also do fishing because of the coastal area, because you all know that the fish is found in water. Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Panji, okay, Trivendrapuram are some of the most important cities along the coast. Okay, so these are some cities which are very important found in the western coastal plains, and in the western coastal plains usually rice, coconut, cashew nut, groundnut, tobacco are cultivated. And why they are cultivated? Because of moisture rich conditions. Okay, now apart from farming, what is the another major occupation of the people here? Fishing. Okay, and name the cities which are very important in the western coastal plain like Mumbai, Ahmedabad, Panji, Trivendrapuram. Okay, so you have to learn the spellings of the cities properly. So these are the climates and the vegetation of the western coastal plains. Now, what do you mean by backwaters? The backwaters or lagoon is a body of water separated from larger bodies of water by a natural barrier. Now, what do you mean by the word barrier? B-A-R-R-I-E-R. Barrier means a type of a boundary, a small boundary or a stone or any of the thing which comes in the way and divide the thing into two parts. That is called a barrier. Lagoons are separated from larger bodies of water by sandbars, barrier reefs, coral reef or other natural barriers. Sometimes due to the deposition of waves and currents, both the ends on the bar join to enclose apart to a sea water between the coast and the bar. This enclosed part of the sea forms a lake of saline water. This saline water lake is called lagoon. Okay, you know what happens? Sometimes the deposition of the waves and currents both ends to the bar to join each other. At some water, the sea water is get collected at some point, okay, between the coast and the bar. This enclosed part of the sea forms a lake of saline water. Just as a storm is coming, the waves are rising higher and high, and as the waves got rising, it got and covered a very long distance. And at that time, there was some barrier, there were some boundaries, okay, was there, and that water got collected in that area. That is said to be the lagoon, because why it is a saline water, it means a salty water, because that water is consisting or coming from the sea or the ocean, and you all know that the water of the sea is salty. This saline water lake is called lagoon. They mark the Malabar coast of Kerala that lies in the Konkan coast. Okay, usually finest example of this lagoon we are able to see at the Malabar coast, okay, which lies in the Konkan coast in the western Ghats of India. So what actually the backwater words mean for you all? The backwater or lagoon is a body of water separated from larger bodies of water by a natural barrier. Due to the deposition of waves and currents, both the ends of the bar join to enclose a part of sea water between the coast and the bar. This enclosed part of the sea forms a lake of saline water. This saline water lake is called a lagoon. This saline water of lake is called a lagoon. For example, the Malabar coast of Kerala. For example, the Malabar coast of Kerala. Now, I hope you have all understood with the meaning of the backwater. Now, let us discuss about the eastern coastal plain. It stretches from Tamil Nadu in the south to the Bengal in the west, the north, okay. The width of the plains between 100 to 130 kilometers. In the eastern coastal plain, they varies from the western coastal plain, they varies from the width of 50 to 80. But here it varies from 100 and 130 kilometers. The eastern coastal plain are wider and leveled than the western coastal plain, and the region is divided into two parts, the North Saraska and the Coromandel coast. Okay, so the eastern coastal plain is much wider than the western coastal plain. The eastern coastal plain stretches from Tamil Nadu in the south to the Bengal in the north. The width of these plain lines varies between 100 km and 130 km, and it is divided into how many parts? Two parts, the northern Saraska, okay, and the Coromandel coast, okay, got it? The northern Saraska and the Coromandel coast. The western coastal plain is a wide stretch of landmass of India, lying between the eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. It is wider and leveled than the western coastal plain stretches from Tamil Nadu in the south to the West Bengal in the north through Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Chilka Lake is a brackish water lake along the eastern coastal plain. I repeat once again, the eastern coastal plain stretches of landmass of India. It is lying between Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. It is wider and leveled up in comparison to the western coastal plain. Now, it stretches from Tamil Nadu to the south to West Bengal in the north through Andhra Pradesh and Orissa. Chilka Lake is a brackish water lake along the eastern coastal plain. It lies in the state of Odisha and stretches to the south of Mahanadi delta of many India's rivers for a major portion of these plains. The Mahanadi, Godavari, Kaveri and Krishna rivers drains in these plains. Now what do you mean by drain? They used to come and join. Okay, they used to go and join Bay of Bengal. So usually over here 4 rivers, Mahanadi, Godavari, Kaveri and Krishna, they all come and join together at one place and forms a delta. And where they form a delta? In the eastern coastal plains. So eastern coastal plain is actually the place where the deltas are being formed, and especially for the 4 rivers that is said to be the Mahanadi, Godavari, Kaveri and Krishna. Okay, now these all 4 rivers join together and forms a delta in the eastern coastal plain. Now continuing with the eastern coastal plain, it is locally known as Utkal Plains. It is locally known as Utkal Plains in the northern part between Kosi and Rushikulya river. Northern circles in the central part between Rushikulya and Krishna rivers, and as Coromandel coast in the southern part from the south of river Krishna till the southern tip of mainland India at Cape Comorin. I repeat, it's Cape Comorin, where it merges with the western coastal plains. Okay, now see, it is locally known as the eastern coastal plain. Another name of eastern coastal plain is Utkal Plains. Okay, in the northern part between the Kosi and Rushikulya rivers. Northern circles is in the central part between the Rushikulya river and the Krishna river, and as Coromandel coast in the southern part from the south of river Krishna till the southern tip of mainland India at Cape Comorin, where it merges with the western coastal plain. These plains move across the states of West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. Chennai, Visakhapatnam, they are the 2 largest ports of the eastern coastal plain. So name the 2 largest ports of eastern coastal plain. They are Chennai and Visakhapatnam. Okay, and the states which come in this eastern coastal plain, they are West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh and Tamil Nadu. So eastern coastal plain is locally known as Utkal Plains. In the northern part, the Utkal Plains are in between the Kosi and Rushikulya rivers. Now northern circles, they are in the southern part between the Rushikulya and Krishna rivers, and as Coromandel coast is in the southern part till south of the Krishna till the southernmost tip of mainland of India at Cape Comorin, where it merges with the western coastal plains. The climate and the vegetation of western coastal plain is they experience a hot and humid climate. In northern part of this plain receive monsoon rains, where southern receive during winter season. The soil of this plain contains rich alluvium. Rice is the most important and extensively produced here. Extensively means in a huge quantity they are being produced. The rice is produced here. Sugarcane, coconut and rubber, they are the other important crops of this region. Fishing and farming are the two main occupation of the western coastal plain. The main occupation of Eastern Ghats and the Western Ghat, they are both same, fishing and farming. There in the Western Ghat also, fishing and farming, they were the same. Here in Eastern Ghat also, fishing and farming is same. Why they are same? Because they are lying at the coastal area of India. Okay, because a huge quantity of water, the soil, the sand, whatever is being good for farming are being found here. And as they are covering the water area, obviously fishes are found in a huge quantity. You all know that the fishes are found in the sea and the oceans very much, and Bay of Bengal also. So just because of this, fishing is also among the main occupation of the both the two ghats, means the Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghat. So the climate of Eastern Ghat they are the hot and humid climate, same like as of Western Ghat. Okay, the northern part of the plain they receive monsoon rains. Okay, the southern parts receive winter season. Okay, it means, see, in the northern part usually monsoon rains have been coming. Okay, and the southern part during winter season they used to have the rainfall. The soil of this plain contains a rich alluvium, and rice is the most important and extensively produced crop here. Okay, in a huge quantity, and that's why we always see and find that in the southern part of India, in the West Bengal side, they all used to eat rice in a huge quantity. Sugarcane, coconut and rubber, they are also among the important crops grown in this region. And the two main occupation, fishing and farming of the Eastern Ghat people here. Okay, the peoples of the Eastern Ghat living in the Eastern Ghats, their main occupation is fishing and farming. Now let us discuss about the islands. The island is any piece of subcontinental land that is surrounded by water. It means four sides there is water and a very small piece of land situated in between. Are you able to see these pictures? There in the green side, in between the water, there is overall the water is there, and in between the water there is a place where it is having a green color. The trees you are able to see, that is called an island. An island are very beautiful. You know, you will really enjoy these places because the places are very calm, quiet. No traffic, no rushing, no lots of people. Silent place where the people used to, many of the people whoever used to go to the islands, they used to relax over there because they want silence and peace. Okay, so these are the islands, and the islands is any piece of subcontinental land that is surrounded by water. So what is an island? An island is any piece of land, subcontinental land, that is surrounded by water. Now, very small islands such as emergent land features on atolls are called islet. They are called islet. It means you can say a big island. Now, there are very small pieces of island which is having the land features. They are called islets. A key or K is another name of small islands. Islet is actually a part of, or it can be say, it is a form of very small island. In place of islet, there is another name given to such places. It is known as a key or K. Okay, an island in a river or lake may be called an eyot. Okay, an island which is coming in a nearby the area of a river or in between a river or a lake is called eyot. Now, a grouping of geographically or geologically related islands, okay, means several islands at just one place, okay. The location is almost one. So these are known as archipelago. They are known as archipelago. ARCHIPELAGO. They are known as archipelago. So a grouping of geographically or geologically related islands is called an archipelago. We don't say that this is a one island, two, second, third, fourth, not like this. We say all this in a together, we say it archipelago. Now see this map. You are having two places, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and Lakshadweep. In the Lakshadweep, that is in a circle, in a round shape, are you able to see small islands? Okay, they all make archipelago. Okay, they are the archipelagos over there. So, because they are at one side, they are at one place, almost nearby the area. Andaman and Nicobar, which is coming to the another side. It is an island, okay, which is actually coming in between of a Bay of Bengal. So, there at the right hand side we are able to see Andaman and Nicobar Islands, and the left hand side we are able to see and find Lakshadweep. Now let us discuss about Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which are said to be very beautiful island, and it comes in among the Union Territories of India. We all know that India is having 7 Union Territories, and among that 7 Union Territories there are Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The capital of Andaman and Nicobar Island is Port Blair. I repeat, the capital of Andaman and Nicobar Island is Port Blair, and it's really a very beautiful place to visit. It is among the famous tourist place of India, where the people go and visit these places. And usually it is out of India, and it's but in spite of all these things, it is really a very beautiful place, covered with full side or 4 sides of water, okay, with having dense forest, okay, the vegetation is also very good over there. Population is less, so obviously there is a very rare pollution present in Andaman and Nicobar Islands, but the water is too clear, just like a mirror. You are able to see small tiny plants, okay, over there, which are beneath the water or the coastal area. It's a very beautiful place, and the capital of Port Blair, Andaman and Nicobar Island is Port Blair. Now, Andaman and Nicobar Islands, they are the cluster of 572 small islands and large islands. Okay, islets and rocks lying in the southern eastern part of Bay of Bengal. The coastline of the island stretches for about 100 kilometers, and dense means huge forest. Okay, I can say the trees are very close or nearby to each other. Okay, now it stretches all across the island, occupy about 8,923 square kilometers. The capital city is Port Blair. The capital city is Port Blair. Okay, Andaman and Nicobar Island is a cluster of 572 small and large islands. Okay, islets and rocks which are lying in the southern eastern part of Bay of Bengal. The coastline of this island stretches for about 100 kilometers, and a very huge dense forest are throughout it is being stretched almost the island or cover almost the island. Okay, islands occupy about 8,293 square kilometers. The capital city is Port Blair. The capital city is Port Blair. This place is famous as a tourist place. Many people used to go and visit Andaman and Nicobar Islands due to its white sand beaches and blue water. Okay, over there on the beaches usually white sand is found, and the water is also very clear. Okay, you are able to see even the small plants inside the Bay of Bengal, the river side. Okay, the water which is found in the coastal area of Andaman and Nicobar Islands. Continuing with the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there is a diversity of flora and fauna in this group of islands. Diversity means huge quantity of various animals, various plants are found here. These islands lie close to equator and experience equilateral climate. Okay, equilateral climate which is nearby the area of equator and has thick forest cover. Okay, there are Andaman and Nicobar Island having very thick forest. Okay, huge quantity of forests are being found in Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So Andaman and Nicobar Islands are having or is having diversity of flora and fauna. Flora means over here related to the vegetation, plants, trees. Okay, and fauna is related to the wildlife. Okay, and especially for the aquatic animal. You know the meaning of aquatic animal? The meaning of aquatic animal is the animals which are found inside the water. Okay, in the sea, ocean or the lakes. They are said to be the aquatic animals like fish, tortoise, seahorse and shark and all, but usually the sharks are not being found over here. Okay, so Andaman and Nicobar Islands is an island which is having a diversity of flora and fauna. Now let us discuss about the Paran Island. You know, Paran Island is an island which is located in the Andaman Sea. It is only a confirmed active volcano in South Asia. Active volcano. Firstly, let me tell you what do you mean by a volcano. A volcano is like a mountain shaped structure which is empty inside it. Okay, it is having a hole or it is open downside, okay, to the earth crust, where usually it is concentrated to the molten rocks, okay, and gas, the dangerous gases, or we can say the poisonous gases, and it used to heat up slowly and steadily, okay, and as it used to create too much of heat inside it, it used to come out from the top and in form of a lava. So Barren Island is actually an island which is located in the Andaman Sea, and it is only confirmed active volcano in South Asia. Now, it is actually an active volcano along with a chain of volcanoes from Sumatra to Myanmar. It is a part of Indian Union Territory of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which lies about 138 kilometers northeast to the territory's capital of Port Blair. Okay, it means from the Port Blair, this active volcano, this Barren Island is being situated around 38 kilometers far away. Okay, it is among the chain of volcanoes which is starting from Sumatra to Myanmar. Okay, from Sumatra to Myanmar, there are several other volcanoes too, and among them this Barren Island is coming, which is having the most active volcanoes of the South Asia or the Southern Asia. Now let us discuss about Lakshadweep. Lakshadweep is a small in area in comparison to Andaman and Nicobar Island, but it is a very beautiful place. Okay, it lies in the Arabian Sea side. Okay, Andaman and Nicobar Island lie in the Bay of Bengal side, and Lakshadweep Island lie in the Arabian Sea. Okay, there are several ships, huge large ships like cruise. They used to move from Bombay to Lakshadweep and make the people visit these places. Lakshadweep is among the places where very rare population is being found, and Lakshadweep is also coming in a form of here, or it's a part of Union Territory of India. Lakshadweep Island, the smallest Union Territory of India, is a group of islands 200 to 300 kilometers off the coast of Kerala in the Arabian Sea. It's located in 8 degree and 12 degree north latitude and 71 degree and 74 degree east longitude. Okay, so this is actually the geographical condition of Lakshadweep Island. Lakshadweep Island is the smallest union territory of India. It is a group of islands 200 to 300 kilometers off to the coast of Kerala in the Arabian Sea. It is located in 8 degree and 12 degree north latitude and 71 degree and 74 degree east longitude. So are you able to see this image? There are so many things, so many small green color parts are there, like Kiltan, Chelet, Bitra, okay, Bangaram, Thinkaram, Agati, Kavarati, Suheli. They all come and forms a Lakshadweep Island. Lakshadweep Islands. There are 36 coral islands that constitute Lakshadweep Island. Only 10 are inhabited. 10 means where the people live, and only 6 has been opened for tourism. Now in that 10 places, only 6 islands are being opened where the people can go and visit. Rest all are being closed. Their total area is 32 square kilometers. Okay, so these islands form a coral deposits. Coral means there are so many aquatic animals and the plants found over here. They are called atolls. Atolls are circular or horse-shaped coral reefs. Horse-shaped means usually, have you seen any horse which is actually not in a flat manner? It is coming for the twisting and all. As you know, the horse never goes straight. Okay, many times it used to take a twist like a snake. So these islands form as a coral deposits and they are called atolls. Atolls are circular or horseshoe shaped coral reef. Shoe shaped, it is U. Okay, so these usually islands, these atolls used to have a U shape. Okay, it's not straight but it is having a curve. Have you seen a U? Okay, so this like the atolls or the coral reefs of the atolls occur here in the Lakshadweep Islands. Now, continuing with the Lakshadweep Island, Karavati is the administrative headquarters of Lakshadweep Islands. This island group has a great diversity of flora and fauna. Karavati is actually the capital of Lakshadweep, okay, and it is the administrative headquarter from where the government used to take care of the people. This island is also having a great diversity of flora and fauna. Now let's discuss about Minikar. Locally known as Maliku is an island in Lakshadweep, India. Along with Virinchili, it is on Maliku Atoll, the southernmost atoll of Lakshadweep archipelago. Administratively, it is a census town in the Indian Union Territory of Lakshadweep. Minika Island is among the important part of the Lakshadweep Island. Okay, it is along with the Virinchili. It is on Maliku Atoll. This actually island is famous because it is a census town in the Indian Union Territory. Okay, you know what you mean, understand with the word census. Census over here means where usually the economical conditions of the places are being analyzed. Okay, so this is a census town in the Union Territory of Lakshadweep and comes in a very important part of the Lakshadweep Islands. Now, students, in this presentation we have discussed about so many different things, and the different things that we discussed about the coastal plain and the islands. We especially focused on the area which is coming nearby the water side or the southern of India, or we can say in the southern South India. Okay, you know, the South India, the places are being covered from the three sides of water bodies. Okay, now as these places are covered with the three sides of water bodies, how do the people survive over there? Okay, what sort of climate is being found, what sort of so many other things are being related to the vegetation. Okay, why these what are the places which are being found in such type of coastal areas or the islands? What actually mean, what do you mean by coastal plain and what are islands? These are all being explained in this presentation. So for you all is a work is you all have to read the chapter properly. Okay, understand all the terms related to the coastal island plains also and related to the islands. Now, including that, I have given you one work of a physical map of India. You have to mark on the western and the eastern Ghats, show all the coastal plains, and that you have to paste in your notebook. Do that work neatly and properly. Thank you for watching this video. Have a great day ahead.